The clear tubing pulsated with a fluid far too concentrated, its contents rushing into the patient's arm. It was meant to be a simple intravenous drip, a routine procedure, but something was terribly wrong. A sharp, burning pain shot through the patient's arm, quickly followed by a deep, intense pressure that seemed to build from the inside out. It wasn't a surface pain. It felt like the very tissues beneath the skin were being stretched to their breaking point. Meanwhile, the medical technician, completely unaware of the silent disaster unfolding, casually reached out and adjusted a dial, increasing the flow rate of the hypertonic solution. The rhythmic drip sped up, each drop pushing more of the dangerous fluid into the patient's system. I watched from a few feet away, monitoring the patient's vitals on a screen. My eyes scanned the numbers, looking for any deviation, any sign of trouble. And there it was, subtle changes at first, almost imperceptible to an untrained eye, but glaringly obvious to me. The heart rate flickered, a slight tremor. Blood pressure began to climb, slowly but steadily. On the monitor, the patient's oxygen saturation dipped fractionally. My mind raced, connecting the dots. I saw the over-concentrated fluid, the increased flow, and the body's immediate, desperate response. It wasn't just a liquid entering a vein, it was a microscopic invasion, a siege on the very building blocks of life. There was no outward panic from me, no sudden gasp or shout. Instead, a cold, analytical focus took over. I was watching a physiological catastrophe in real time, understanding exactly what was happening at a cellular level, even as the technician remained oblivious. Every number on the screen, every twitch of the patient's muscle, was a direct consequence of that single unseen mistake. A single unseen molecule, yet a force capable of unraveling life itself. It's incredible to think how something so small can trigger such a monumental chain reaction within the human body. The patient's hand, which had been resting still on the bed, began to twitch, fingers curling inward, then straightening out in a jerky, uncontrollable movement. It was a precursor, a visible warning sign that the system was under severe distress, heading towards a full-blown systemic crisis. This wasn't just a localized reaction anymore. The effects were spreading, impacting the larger systems of the body. The patient shifted uncomfortably, a low groan escaping their lips. Before we continue and dive deeper into the incredible science behind why this happens, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join our community. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing how far our discussions reach. Now let's go back in time a little and lay down the foundation of what's truly happening inside us. Think of a cell like a tiny, self-contained balloon, a delicate sac with its own internal world. It's not just an empty space, it's packed with water, proteins, and all sorts of tiny structures that keep us alive. This little balloon, this cell, constantly works to maintain its internal balance, a perfect environment for everything it needs to do. At the heart of this balance is water. Water is like the lifeblood of our cells, the universal solvent that carries nutrients in and waste products out. Without water, nothing can move. Nothing can react properly. It's what allows our cells to function, to communicate, and ultimately to survive. Every chemical reaction, every transport process depends on the presence of water. It's not just something we drink, it's an active participant in every moment of our existence. Surrounding this cellular balloon is something called the cell membrane. This isn't just a simple wall. It's a highly intelligent gatekeeper. The cell membrane is selectively permeable, which means it decides what gets in and what stays out. It has tiny channels and pumps that carefully regulate the passage of substances, ensuring that the cell maintains its optimal internal environment. It's a bouncer, a doorman, and a security guard all rolled into one, constantly working to protect the cell's delicate interior. This gatekeeper plays a crucial role in a process called osmosis. Osmosis is the silent force that drives water movement across membranes. It's all about concentration gradients. Imagine you have two sides separated by a filter. On one side there's a lot of salt dissolved in water. On the other there's less salt. Water, being the great equalizer, will naturally move from the side with less salt to the side with more salt, trying to balance things out. It doesn't care about the salt itself. It just wants to dilute the higher concentration. This leads us to three important terms: hypertonic, isotonic, and hypertonic solutions. If you put a raisin in plain water, it will plump up. That's because the water is hypertonic to the raisin. It has a lower concentration of solutes. Water rushes into the raisin, trying to dilute the sugars inside. If you put a grape in very salty water, it will shrivel. That's a hypertonic solution. The salty water has a higher solute concentration than the grape, so water leaves the grape to try and dilute the outside. An isotonic solution is one where the solute concentration inside and outside the cell is roughly equal, like a perfectly balanced drink that doesn't make your cells swell or shrink. The cell's constant goal is to achieve and maintain this osmotic balance, this perfect equilibrium. Our body has incredible regulatory systems to help with this. Our kidneys are the master regulators, like sophisticated filtration plants. They constantly filter our blood, removing waste products and, crucially, adjusting our water and electrolyte balance. They decide how much water to keep and how much to let go. Hormones like ADH and aldosterone act as fine-tuners, signaling the kidneys to hold on to more water or release it, depending on the body's needs. And of course, there's the thirst mechanism, our body's emergency alarm. When our fluid levels drop, our brain signals us to drink, prompting us to replenish what we've lost. We experience these fluid imbalances in everyday life. Think about sweating heavily on a hot day or during a tough workout. If you don't replenish that fluid, especially with electrolytes, your cells can start to shrink as water leaves them. On the flip side, drinking too much plain water too quickly can lead to overhydration or water intoxication. This dilutes the electrolytes in your blood, making it hypertonic, and causes your cells, especially in the brain, to swell dangerously. Even what we eat influences this balance. A high-salt diet can pull water out of your cells, making you feel thirsty, while excessive sugar intake can also impact cellular fluid dynamics. Our bodies often give us early warning signs of these imbalances. Persistent thirst, fatigue, headaches, or muscle cramps can all be subtle whispers from your body, signaling that something is off. These aren't just minor annoyances. They are your body's attempts to tell you that its delicate cellular balance is being disturbed long before a critical problem arises. But there's a tipping point, a critical threshold where these regulatory systems can no longer cope. Cells have a limited capacity to swell or shrink before their structural integrity is compromised. When a cell takes on too much water, the influx stretches its delicate membrane, increasing the internal pressure. Think of blowing up a balloon too much. Eventually, it has to pop. Conversely, when a cell loses too much water, it shrivels up. This severe water efflux disrupts its internal organelles and metabolic processes. Imagine a dried-up fruit, its once plump structure now collapsed and unusable. The catastrophe of cellular explosion, or lysis, occurs when the cell membrane can no longer withstand this immense internal pressure. It simply ruptures, bursting open. When this happens, all the cell's contents, its enzymes, electrolytes and other essential substances spill out chaotically into the surrounding extracellular fluid. This isn't just a localized event. The release of these intracellular components can trigger widespread inflammatory responses and damage to surrounding tissues, often initiating a dangerous chain reaction that affects neighboring cells. Equally catastrophic, though perhaps less dramatic, is cellular shriveling or crenation, When a cell experiences severe dehydration, its internal structure collapses, leading to a profound loss of normal function. The altered internal environment can denature critical proteins and enzymes, essentially rendering them useless. While lysis is a violent, explosive end, severe crenation can be just as fatal to the cell, leading to irreversible damage and a slow, agonizing functional death. Both scenarios represent a complete failure of the cell's ability to maintain its delicate internal environment. When these cellular catastrophes become widespread, the systemic consequences are dire. Massive cellular lysis or crenation can lead directly to organ failure. For instance, extensive cell swelling in the brain can cause dangerous pressure buildup, while kidney cell shriveling can lead to acute kidney failure. The chaotic release or concentration of electrolytes from damaged cells can severely disrupt nerve and muscle function, potentially leading to seizures or even cardiac arrest. Furthermore, the body's desperate attempts to clean up the cellular debris through inflammation often cause further harm, creating a vicious cycle of damage and response known as tissue necrosis. This brings us back to the role of medical intervention and sometimes misintervention. Carefully balanced intravenous fluids are designed to restore osmotic balance, acting as a lifeline for cells in distress. However, as we saw in the initial scenario, administering the wrong fluid type can accelerate cellular damage rather than alleviate it. A hypertonic solution given in error can rapidly dehydrate cells, causing them to shrivel, while an overly hypotonic solution can cause them to burst. Fluid therapy requires incredible precision. Even small errors can have profound, life-altering consequences for the patient. The ultimate lesson here is a deep respect for homeostasis. Our body possesses an incredible, almost miraculous ability to maintain balance under normal conditions. It's a testament to millions of years of evolution, a finely tuned orchestra of microscopic processes working in perfect harmony. Yet this delicate balance is also incredibly fragile. It can be disrupted with alarming ease, leading to catastrophic cellular events that underscore just how precarious life truly is. This understanding encourages a renewed appreciation for the microscopic dance that sustains every single one of us. The patient, after an intensive period of intervention, slowly stabilized. The immediate danger passed, but the effects of the cellular trauma lingered, requiring a long and arduous process of recovery. The medical technician, now acutely aware of the near-fatal error, underwent rigorous retraining, forever changed by the experience. Every drop, every molecule, a silent testament to the fragile dance of life within.